Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my 2007 Porsche Cayman 987.1 model. We're going to be changing out both of the main front lower control arms. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Alright, so I hope I get all these tools right. I think this is all that we're going to need right here. So first and foremost, you're going to need a 3/8 ratchet right here. This is a 5/8 bit. 18mm stubby, 18mm crescent wrench, 13/16 crescent wrench, 11/16, 5/8, 3/4, a breaker bar. This is a must-have. The lower ball joint removal tool, some type of impact or an air gun. You can actually do it by hand, but it is easier with an impact or air tools. 19mm bit, 18mm bit, Torx 40. With something to hold this little bit, so I'm going to use this little small crescent wrench right here. What size is this? This is an 8mm rubber mallet, and of course your replacement control arm. First things first, you're going to go ahead and jack up your car. If you don't know how to do this, please check out the library. But this is the kind of setup I usually use. Jack it up in the rear, and then I put a jack stand here in the front just to make sure you're safe. Take off the lugs. These are 19mm. I have a key on mine, so if you have a key, put it on. I normally like to put mine under the car just in case the jack stands fail. Added security. Next, you're going to go ahead and turn the wheel towards you just so you have a little bit more working room. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to loosen everything up. I'm not going to take it all apart just yet, only loosen it. So you're going to loosen up this end right here. This is a 5/8. Loosen up this other end to hold it so it doesn't spin. That's a 11/16. We're going to take off this nut right here. Again, we're not taking it off fully, we're just loosening it up, and then our last one's going to be in the lower ball joint right here under their shock absorber or your dampeners. So hopefully you guys appreciate these videos because it's quite difficult to film and do the work at the same time. There we go. I'm just going to loosen that up. Alright, so I loosened it up as much as I'm going to loosen it for now. You can see it moving. Let's go to the next part. When you're loosening everything up, make sure just to be mindful of this right here. I actually don't know what this is called, so if you don't know what it is, if you know what it is, leave it in the comments section. It looks like it's connected to the lower control arm, but we'll remove it here in a moment. But just be careful with this, it's pretty flimsy. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and loosen up the lower control arm link, which is this device right here. It's also known as a diagonal fork, or I guess a tuning fork. But regardless, this top nut right here is a 13/16. The bottom nut, oops, is an 18mm. So I'm going to get something to hold this bottom one, and I'm going to try to take it off from the top. You can use an impact on this if you'd like. I cracked it loose. I don't know. I'm just going to get an impact. It'll be a little quicker. Yep, that's a lot faster. Alright, so this nut I'm going to take all the way off. Okay, so this diagonal arm should come right off. You're just gonna have to maneuver it a little bit. Just takes a little bit of persuasion, but this is why I turned the steering wheel to the far left towards you. You should be able to get it just fine. Just takes a little bit of maneuvering. Alright, so I'm just going to put mine down here like this for now. Now I want to get to the fun stuff, which is the lower ball joint right here. It actually sucks, so you just want to be careful because we are going to try to reuse some of this hardware, unless of course you're going to go ahead and purchase a new bolt and fastener. So now we're going to loosen up the nut on the lower ball joint. This is an 18mm wrench like this. That one came off a lot easier than I thought it would. Alright, now that I cracked that loose, I'm gonna get my 18mm stubby. We're gonna loosen that up. Not all the way, because we gotta still pop that lower ball joint off. Okay. I usually like to leave a little bit of room just like that. Now I want to get our lower ball joint remover tool on there now. So I might have to put the camera down, but now you can take your lower ball joint removal tool, put this lower part right here, the top part, kind of let it sit on that top nut, and get your ratchet or an impact here on this other end. If this is the first time you're removing this, it's going to pop very loudly. Alright, got my tool on there. Make sure you wear some eye protection. One moment. Alright, I'm just going to remove this device right here. I don't know what it's called. As I mentioned, just get a flathead screwdriver, pop it upward, and we're just going to kind of get it out of the way so that we don't break it. Alright, so just a heads up, that little thing that we removed right here, it's for the headlight beam adjustment. I was turning the wheel and a fault notification came up for it, so I know that's what that is. Alright, so I finally got the lower ball joint off. I will say that was definitely the hardest part, at least for me. You'll see I had to hammer it out a few times. This took me the longest right here. It took me, unfortunately, almost an hour just to do this right here with that tool. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finally remove the bolts up here on the inner arm, and that should come right out. It should come right out, I mean. I need both my hands. Alright, so I got it removed. Yep. You see this little arm, very loose. It's wet as well. That's just mainly PV blaster though. And I'm going to go ahead and reinstall my new one. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. If you like it, make sure you give me that thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. To reinstall everything, it's everything in reverse. Thanks so much.